Mr. Zuni back out with another video, and as you can see from the title, yes, I used to work at this Amazon, and an FBI agent showed up, and I know that sounds crazy, but that is indeed what happened. So, um, I used to work with I used to work in loss prevention, and we dealt with a lot of security issues and mitigation risk factors, media risk factors, anything that could possibly get into the building. That's what we dealt with, and this is the building that I actually worked at. It does look a little different. So we used to have this parking lot was so they finished this parking lot already. This parking lot was already is not done in this video, but for purposes of this video. This is a little bit further back, but yes, there was an FBI agent at our back door or side door. So I'm gonna take you guys exactly where he was and what happened. Um, this is the front of the building where all the associates come and they walk through here, the intersection right there. This is like the whole building. Also, there's another building across the way. So yeah, so we want to go back to this little part of the back entrance back here where you can kind of see. So show you guys the whole view of it. Granted, I was working the night shift. It was, I want to say, around 9 or 10, 9 p.m. They also have this back building this way. As you can see, we can go further back. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was, but there's another entrance here. Now this is only for trucks. So as you can see, the trucks line up there. But yeah, so one of the outbound, which is the outbound process, PAs for it was here. Yeah, this is where our FBI agent showed up, and basically he came in an unmarked SUV. Recorded. I saw video footage of this, and that was one of my tasks for that night. After I received a call about an FBI agent actually coming onto our property and talking to one of our associates. There's this little gate right here where it's another like black gate where the cars come in. But in this process, it was closed and there wasn't much traffic or much congestion on this side of the street. So FBI agent pulled up, all black tinted, and he got off the truck or his SUV and talked to one of our associates at the gate over here. I'm gonna see if I can go in. Oh, I can't do the truck. Let me see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, right here, exactly right here. So this little spot right there. Now there's a gate now. There's a big black gate, wrought iron gate that we saw like in the front. So the officer, our FBI agent, parked right here and sat there for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and he finally got out of his SUV and walked over to talk to one of the PAs over here who's directing traffic in and out and having people check in and out. So basically, he has two ways of moving traffic. So these guys are moving in, and then on the op or next to them, parallel or adjacent to them, they have trucks going outwards or going out, basically. So we had the FBI agent kind of pull up here. I believe the camera is right here or up here somewhere. So I got a full bird's view of this guy. So when he opened his car, when I was reviewing the footage, I saw his shotgun in the front. He was in like FBI gear. He had a bulletproof vest on. He had his little badge or his little collar hanging down with his badge, I'm assuming. Kind of like what you would see in like a SWAT. I don't know if he was ready to take down somebody or something. Um, so he went up to the PA and he talked to him, I guess. So at that time, I was barely getting on boarded with my department, and we were kind of learning new situations. And at that building, we were pretty low staff. Like I said, we had new associates coming in and out, so training was something happening. and the overlap wasn't really, there wasn't much overlap, so they didn't know we even had a nights associates for my department. And I don't know how I found out. I think one of the managers told me or something. I talked to the managers, I talked to everybody, try to get intel and just talk about what's going on. And I think that's how it was brought up. I think I was doing a dock check or a guard check that night. So I was walking around the building, and I talked to one of the outbound PAs or managers. I can't remember who. I think it was a PA, but so it's assistant manager. And I asked him. Oh, he actually told me. He's like, "Hey, did you see the FBI agent that was here?" And I was like, "What?" So I got the intel from him. So basically, I guess this FBI agent was looking for not Amazon associates, but drivers. So wanted drivers or drivers who potentially have been cited at a warehouse or driving for these third party companies that bring off freight and stuff. So as you can see here, they have freight on their truck and cargo, and obviously they're all third party vendors that are bringing whatever they're bringing. I have a separate video too of what we dealt with, especially when I was assistant manager. I was dealing with fraud and a lot of that stuff. So if you guys have any questions, maybe I'll make some videos about how I dealt with fraud and I was able to save like $1 million+ in fraud. Like, you won't believe the stuff I was able to do, especially when you had the time to do it. It was one of my side projects and probably what helped me get my management position. But anyways, yeah. So I guess the FBI agent got a tip from one of their. I don't know who they got a tip from. I think it was a tip from another driver, or I don't know how the FBI works exactly. Obviously, I wouldn't know, but they basically got intel or a tip from such and such that a certain couple, I think it was a guy and a girl, a couple, I believe that's who it was, that were on the wanted list, or they were looking for, or they had eyes on, that showed up to our building in one of the trailers. So obviously when they come and drop off the trailer, I know it changed, it's been changing and it does change over the years, especially because Amazon's such a high turnover and they have new managers come in with new ideas, so it's always changing, and different things are always being implemented. So I guess before, I remember when I was a safety specialist, we used to do the outbound checks for the trailer yards, and what the third party vendors, they would bring the truck in and they would drop off their load, and it depended on what type of load. If it was a load that they could drop off and take off and go, they could just leave. But if it was a load that they had to drop off and they had to wait, then they had to wait. And once that so it was a live load basically. So the live loads usually had a higher priority because of that, because I think Amazon is paying them per hour, especially when they're waiting there. So they're paying that wage, whatever it is. I found out when I was talking to one of the drivers one time. But basically, I guess these wanted couple or these wanted drivers were waiting, and someone saw them on a wanted poster or something, or they knew someone, they got a tip. So I guess the FBI agent came in, and I called and I talked to someone from the FBI or law enforcement who was in direct contact with the FBI. I talked to him and asked him, "Hey, I handle the security. What's going on?" And basically, I was told not much. I mean, they were just looking for someone that they wanted access to our cameras and stuff like that. So our protocol was, doesn't matter if you're police or whatever, you need to have a warrant and you need to go through a process to actually get a hold or have a court order to give you the footage. And by that time, possibly the footage won't be there. So it's a long process. It's kind of like a headache. So it was not even worth it. But I told them, like, that's the process they would have to do. But I mean, by that time, they're, maybe a month into this thing and they lost the video retention already or whatever. If we want to be, not nice people, we won't save it. So, I mean, it depends. So, yeah, that was the process. And they were just looking for somebody. And I kind of thought maybe they were looking for someone who was dealing with fraud, or they were bringing fraudulent products. For example, like there's a lot of fraudulent products I dealt with from China. Not knocking China or anything, but that's where they would come from. You would see the Chinese writing on the box, or whatever Asian writing in the box that they would have. Most of it came from China, and the addresses were from China, somewhere in China. when I would research where the actual location that it's coming from and stuff like that. But yeah, they would do high dollar value items from China where they would bring. I'll save that for another video if you guys want me to talk about that. But yeah, that was my story of not meeting but talking to an FBI agent on the phone and getting the story of like, wait, there was an FBI agent on my shift here. So I watched the video footage. It was kind of crazy. Like I said, it was all black tinted SUV. He opened the door. You saw his computers and his shotgun in the front or whatever. It looked like a shotgun, but I'm assuming it was. And he was all bulletproof vest up and kind of ready for action. So yeah, that's my video. If you guys have any comments, questions below, make sure you guys hit it there. If you guys want to check out some of my stocks and stuff like that, if you guys want to talk, if you guys want to learn and get tips from me from what I've done in my investing, there's videos and stuff below, as well as if you want to do Robinhood or Webull, you get free stocks on there. And then with BlockFi, you can get some crypto as well for free. I think up to $250. So make sure you guys check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.